Hello everyone, I bought one of these finally, which some of you might recognise because quite a few people asked me in the comments had I got one or was I planning on getting one on other watch videos. And it's a Casio Waveceptor, and I got the nice titanium one. Basically with these you've got two different varieties of the sort of quite nice ones. You've got the titanium one which I got, which is just over £100, and then for about 90 something pounds you can get the stainless steel one. So I thought, for the extra 10 or 20 quid, whatever it was between the two, there's no point not getting the titanium one. So the only difference is it's a titanium case and bracelet, and it's got a black dial, whereas on the other model of Waveceptor it's got a sort of dark blue dial. So what this watch basically is it sets itself off radio several times a day, so it's always within a second accurate. And you can also set to different time zones if you wanted to, and it's also solar powered, so it has a battery in it that will last ages. Obviously it won't be infinite because nothing lasts forever, but sort of for the price of the watch you'll have a battery that will last absolutely ages, and it's always accurate. The lume is also very good on this, which I'll show you in a minute. So basically I haven't worked out all the functions on it yet, but you've got the light here which I'll demonstrate in the dark, which is fairly good. You've got your second hand's obviously hour and minute hand like an analog watch, but it's done via digital radio signal. And one thing you'll notice on this watch which is really good is that the second hand is perfectly aligned with the little like notches on the dial, so it's not one of those watches where the second hand goes slightly out of the way, so that's a really nice thing. So one thing to mention, it's a bracelet watch, and one thing I really liked about this is it's the easiest bracelet to adjust I've ever used. I'll show you now. So basically the bracelet on this has these little holes on the back side, and the Casio give you a tool which you basically push into those, a link will come out. To reattach it you push a link, push the tool in, the spring bars come back out and you can put the link back in. It takes like 5 to 10 seconds to remove or add a link into this watch. It's really that easy. It's not messing about with pins or anything like that. If you completely change the strap, I imagine you'd have to mess about a bit with spring bars and things, but actually for doing the sort of watch links it's very, very easy. There's the back of the case. Some people said these watches have a plastic back, but this one's definitely metal, so it's all titanium. Maybe it's on the steel ones that's actually plastic, I don't know. It's rated to 100 meters water depth, which is very, very nice, because I didn't buy it as a dive watch, but it's nice to know that it would do it as a function. So there we go. So I haven't looked at all the modes yet. You can have the same time that's being displayed with the seconds and obviously the minute and hour hand, the analog face in digital at the bottom. You can also get to show you the dates. It says Wednesday the 30th. That's obviously November, but they expect you to know the month you're in. That's the actual seconds it's on. And that's just a thing to say obviously it's receiving the radio signal. And I did check this with an atomic clock online, and it is precise to the exact second, so if you've got this watch on you'll never be late if you're actually watching the time carefully. So there's other modes on it as well. That's showing you what the battery charge is, so that's fully charged. This is where you can set the international time zone. I had a bit of trouble with that to start with when I first got the watch, because turned out I couldn't get the time zone right, because the actual watch's time zone was set to Paris, but the travel time zone was set to London, so I've just set everything to London now, so it's accurate. It has automatic daylight savings adjustment, but you can turn that off or not on if you want to, or you can manually set the time if you really wanted to do that for some reason. It's got an alarm function as well if you wanted it, stopwatch if you wanted it, a countdown timer if you wanted it, and there we go, back to that. The bezel doesn't move unfortunately, but it looks nice enough. And yeah, not much else to say about it. I'll just demonstrate the watch in the dark and the lume on the hands as well. But overall I'm very impressed with it, because it's a precision accurate watch. You can't get more accurate than this, and for something that's just over 100 quid for one of the nicest models, that's not bad at all. When I was a lot younger I used to have a really tacky plastic Waveceptor, and they still do those, so I think these series goes from anywhere upwards from 20 quid. So if you just wanted one with a digital face that's incredibly accurate for time, you can get that for about 20 quid. Right, I'll show you the lume now. So here's the watch face in the dark. Press that on, that's the actual light on the watch itself. it's good enough that you can see where the hands are and read the time. Obviously it depends where your hands are, if they're blocking the bottom section, but you can obviously see where the minute hands and hour hand are easily of that. But what charges up very quickly on this is the fluorescent sort of lume. So if I put a UV light on that, and I won't have to hold it on very long, I'll just do that so it gets all over the watch face. Alright, now I turn it off, you can see that's a really bright, nice lume on there. And I tested this last night and it took quite a while for this to fade, because with normally with a lot of these sort of watch faces, if you give it a quick charge via UV light, they don't last all that long, but what this shows is it charges quickly and holds its sort of lume charge quite long. And you can easily still see where the minute and hour hand are. Now if I get my Vostok Amphibia, which prior to getting this was my favourite watch, and put the UV light on that, upside down, but it doesn't make a difference what I want to show you. Now I turn that off, that will start fading a lot quicker than this one. So there's the two watches. Obviously this has faded a bit, but the Vostok from experience won't last all that long at sort of a full lume. What will happen is this will look a bit sort of dimmer for now, but that lume level where it's dim will last. Where with the Vostok, what's going to start happening is very soon, you can already see around the edges, you're losing that, and then the minute and sort of hour hands and the second hand will fade quite quickly as well. I do think it does vary from Vostok to Vostok and Amphibias how good that lume is, but as you can see, this one is still, it's roughly equal now, but regardless, this works very well for what it is, whereas, yeah, this Amphibia is already getting a bit dull. But there you go, that's the lume mode on it as well, the little brightness thing. And yeah, I am very impressed with this Waveceptor so far. This is the titanium version as said, but you can get in stainless steel and plastic depending on your price range for it and what you want from it. I think there's a slightly higher model than this one, which has like more sort of stopwatchy functions on, but it looks a bit cluttered, so I like this one the most. But there we go. Casio Waveceptor titanium, very nice watch.